We have the graphics, we have the speed, but we don't have full control of Spider-Man. We don't need Spider-Man 3 to be prettier, we just need it to be harder. Like Spider-Man not sticking to walls. This definitely feels like a bug because some places are not actually affected by it. This inconsistent bug should definitely be fixed and reworked better. I don't think anything else should change except for the fact that some places cannot be web crawled on. Take the Brooklyn Bridge for example. I cannot simply crawl my way back up from the underpass. And while I thought of playing with photo mode under the bridge, I cannot seem to stick under the bridge. These specific sorts of walls cannot be web crawled on, and certain balconies cannot be crawled on so you can perch on them. If I really wanted to feel like Spider-Man, I would feel like I would be able to climb anything that's within range, right? So why are we limited by this? I still am not happy that they didn't improve on the web crawling since Spider-Man 1. It's still the same speed and it still feels sluggish. And speaking of wall crawling, how can Spider-Man not be able to wall run down a building? No, seriously.
This is ridiculous.
That is big robbery of control of Spider-Man. Because what if you want to get to a lower level of a building you want to crawl on? You have to dive, swing awkwardly into the building wall to stick. There's also zero penalty given for colliding into a building at a really high speed. Spider-Man just stops there awkwardly. I'm very certain a lot of you know how it felt swinging into a building at a very high speed in Spider-Man Web of Shadows. You go splat. Or you'd carry your momentum like nothing ever happened. Which is fine in this case, but if you're going straight into a wall at the speed of sound and carrying on like nothing happened, then what's the reason to try even harder to avoid crashing if you don't get punished for messing up? There is absolutely zero collision for flagpoles, lampposts, trees, anything that sticks out a little bit over the ground. Spider-Man doesn't touch it when he swings. Lampposts in Web of Shadows were tangible and Spider-Man could parkour over them. So all Insomniac needs to do is slap in a few animations for these things and add collision. Now the loop-de-loop was a great addition to the game, but I still feel underwhelmed about it. The reason is that it's a scripted action and not based on what players want to experiment with. The earlier Spider-Man games allowed you to do loop-de-loop whenever you felt like, but here you have to execute it after performing a dive for a few seconds and then holding the swing button. Because look what happens here if I just stay diving without pressing L3. See, I go straight up. I had more than enough speed to perform it, but the game simply wouldn't allow it because it's tied behind that action. At the perfect setup, for example a crane, and you were diving fast enough without pressing the dive button, you wouldn't be able to do it. So here's to hoping for more control for loop-de-loops. My issue with this game that needs to be fixed is the web swinging here. Now I don't mean it entirely, I just mean the fact that I'm swinging here with camera follow off, right? So the camera shouldn't automatically turn to my back as I'm swinging. But any time I do a web zip, the camera turns automatically. And the fact that as you're swinging sometimes, you might hit a wall and the game will still turn the camera for you to try to adjust you right. The third point is if you're doing tricks while swinging your face to the camera, the game always turns you the opposite way around. I think it's worth mentioning that Spider-Man's webs literally have no physics at all. You can wrap yourself around a building and the web just goes straight through. In the Ultimate Spider-Man game, his webs did have physics and they would also stay behind on where you swung. So what they also could add with the web physics is that it actually affects how you swing. So if you wrap yourself around a building, the web should naturally get shorter, right? And cause you to jump sooner. Or if you're trying to do a long swing from a high building, the web would attach to that building. But it seems the webs in this game have pretty much the same length, so it's very assisted. And speaking of assistance, I don't like the fact that the game decides how long you should hold the swing button if you're casually swinging. Like you can swing and maybe want to hold your web a little bit longer to go even higher, but the game decides when to let go as opposed to just letting you hang until you lose all your speed. This animation did not need to be changed for real. It kinda looks like he's holding a big shit right now. Insomniac claimed to have uncapped the speed for this game, but it still feels limited. Even if you hit the top speed in the game, the next web swing you pull off keeps you at that speed, or is somewhat slower. So they still kind of lie to you that it is uncapped, when in reality, it doesn't stack progressively like Titanfall or Mirror Edge's momentum. The momentum was rewarded to the player for basically playing good. More so, momentum loss was also rewarded by bad gameplay. And I won't lie, Spider-Man 2 is actually a mix of that, like using the web zip during web swinging. The game tells you that the web zip is for maintaining speed, however you do tend to lose some of it as you're progressing. And on the other note, no matter how clean your landing is, you always lose all the speed that you accumulated. So the game still won't even reward you for actually playing it right and smooth. I sure hope that a lot of this would get fixed out by Spider-Man 3. And if there's any other thing that I might have not noticed or covered, do let me know in the comments, because this is all that I know about that I found in the game. And I'll see you in the next one.